The New World Order is a theory that seeks to put an end to nationalism, destroy monarchy, and destroy all religious beliefs, bringing all people together under the roof of a totalitarian world state and one religious belief. Due to the depth it has brought to the world's political agenda, it has also led to the emergence of various conspiracy theories. Consider all the countries in the world, their established systems, cultures, and religious beliefs. How utopian it sounds to change the Earth's order, which has been shaped after a process of thousands of years, isn't it? So in this video, I'm going to talk about a crazy conspiracy theory that has been discussed since 1994, and which in some cases is believed to pave the way for a new world order. This conspiracy theory, allegedly aimed at controlling people's minds and radically changing their perceptions and beliefs, is called the Blue Beam Project. Welcome to my channel called The Discovery of Mystery, where we will unveil the curtains of secrets. In 1994, Serge Monast, a Quebec writer and journalist, made some claims in his book, Blue Beam Project. According to Monast, NASA and the United Nations were working on a four-stage project that they had developed. The aim of this project was to establish a new world order under one Earth state and under one new era religious roof. Under the control of these two organizations, by overthrowing all existing state structures, destroying existing religions, and creating a new era of religion, are very important in this project. Because to guide people towards a certain goal, it is important to first control the belief system. The New Age religion is the key to the New World Order, because it is not possible to establish the New World Order without creating a new religion. So, Blue Beam Project was being conducted secretly until the day Serge Monast disclosed his allegations. Serge Monast, publishing his allegations regarding the project, expressed his intention as follows. About 6 months ago, when I published some information about the Blue Beam Project, one of their most secret projects, I wasn't sure I would survive in the face of the directors of this big game, which aims to bring all people's cultures and religions into play. But now, by listening to the voice of my Christian conscience, I am ready to sacrifice my life for Jesus Christ and my great love for my unknown brothers in America and elsewhere in the world. I kindly request this from each of you. Don't let fear naturally shake your heart when you read or hear what I'm about to write. Instead, spread my writing everywhere and gather your prayers together. Consider and devise various strategies to fend off their attacks, seize control, and establish a new order. We must also understand that the new world state will not be eternal and immortal. That's not the point. The point is to reorganize ourselves by clearly deciding what to think and what to do right now to be able to resist such a tyranny, such a demonic order. According to Serge Monast, the Blue Beam Project is planned in 4 phases. The first phase of the project aims to destroy all the information acquired so far. Firstly, artificial earthquakes are planned. Artificial earthquakes will be carried out in strategically important parts of the world, and archaeological studies will be organized after them, where evidence will be uncovered that will undermine people's existing religious beliefs. So it will be told to all people that religions have been misunderstood for centuries. Evidence that humankind is supposed to be on the wrong track will be presented. The second stage concerns holographic images that will affect people's perceptions. In this phase of the project, 3-dimensional optical holograms are planned to be reflected into the sky using satellite technologies. Given the aim of shaping people's perceptions, who do you believe will feature in these holograms? Of course, images of the prophets and sacred figures of all religions are expected to be used. Monast claimed that the project's managers would use the technology they developed to reflect images and sounds in every region of the world, in every language. The demonstration will be launched simultaneously without skipping even the world's smallest settlements. The sacred figure, which will be reflected in the sky as a hologram, to convey God's supposed final message to people, is expected to declare that people are enemies to each other because of the misinterpretation of existing religions, and that a new era will now begin where everyone will be gathered under one religion. The LF, VLF, and LF waves will be used together at this stage, so that belief and reality can be at the highest level. And what are the characteristics of these waves? Now let's look at it in more detail. Radio waves in the 300, kHz to 30 kHz frequency range are referred to as LF waves. Low-frequency radio waves move and reflect from the tropospheric layer. Radio waves in the 30 kHz to 3 kHz frequency range are referred to as VLF waves. Very low-frequency radio waves are quite weak for voice communication. Radio waves ranging from 3 Hz to 30 Hz are called extremely low-frequency, ELF. Signals in this frequency range can easily reach the depths of the ocean. The Soviet and US Navy used these waves to communicate with submarines due to their powerful properties. After hologram perception management, the third stage will commence. The third phase entails the execution of tasks aimed at mind control. At this stage, it is planned to use ELF waves again. ELF waves have been the subject of some conspiracy theories and experiments on mind control because of their characteristics to affect the human brain and, hence, the human mood. At this stage, waves will be sent to people's brains through the cell phones that people use, convincing them deep in their minds that God is speaking to them. These waves will create what we call artificial thought by penetrating people's own natural thoughts. According to Monast's claims, people can be directed by these waves, calmed down when necessary, or driven into panic. Moreover, these waves will be able to send voices that only certain people can hear, so that no one else can hear them. People will also not be able to resist the source of the sound. Monast's claims sound quite unusual, don't they? When you examine the publications regarding the efforts conducted by the Germans during World War II and the efforts conducted by the American and Russian intelligence services, which welcomed German scientists after the war, you can see that weapons for mind control have been attempted to be developed for a long time. You can see the first clues of work in the field of mind control in Dr. José Delgado's 1969 book, Physical Control of the Brain, Towards a Psycho-Civilized Society. Delgado was able to stimulate certain areas of the brain with the wires he put into it. For example, he stimulated a point in his patient's brain to get his fingers closed inward. When he even asked his patient how he was feeling, the patient replied, "Doctor, I think your electricity is stronger than my will." When the dates showed July 16, 1977, the New York Times published a mind-boggling story. The United States is developing invisible weapons with which humanity could be enslaved. Only a year after the news, Walter Boward, in his book Operation Brain Control, gave important insights into the modern level of development in the field. In his book, Boward mentioned that the hypnosis technique, narcotic hypnosis, electronically stimulating the brain, ultrasound, microwaves, and low-tone frequencies can influence and modify human behavior. Work and development in this area have enabled the secret services, in particular, to develop different weapons that can affect human minds. When you look at the point where chip technology is nowadays, and even the experiments on frequency directions without using a chip, Serge Monast's claims actually become even more interesting. Returning to our topic again, Monast wrote that the planned work could lead to large-scale religious or political chaos on Earth. Imagine the polarization created by political and religious conflicts in today's world. Can you imagine what kind of conflict might arise between the people who believe in the demonstration to be carried out with the Blue Beam Project and the non-believers? Especially considering the claim that these holographic demonstrations and frequency studies will take place during a time of great political turmoil and chaos, we can predict that the outcome of the conflict could be quite intense. Let's get to the fourth and final step of the Blue Beam Project. In this step, a fake invasion attack is planned, allegedly from outside the Earth. An extraterrestrial threat will unite all humans against a common enemy. This huge chaos that will be created on Earth after this fake alien invasion will consolidate the power and control of NASA and the United Nations over Earth. Let us recall a speech that Ronald Reagan, the 40th President of the United States, made in the past at the United Nations.
In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
In fact, we see Reagan making a speech that reminds us all that we are humans, and that we're moving away from each other because we focus on our differences with hostile obsessions. But when combined with Monast's claims, the situation becomes a little weird. Serge Monast claims that the Blue Beam Project will play a key role in bringing all people on Earth under one roof and ensuring absolute control over the people. The claims are truly extraordinary. They're almost like a screenplay for a science fiction movie. Monast also draws attention to a global financial crisis. Monast claims that the course of the financial crisis will lead to serious changes in the financial system, and cash will be completely out of use. According to Monast, cash will be replaced by digital money. With the launch of new digital currency projects, the cryptocurrency sector, which began with the birth of Bitcoin, is constantly evolving today. The world's interest in cryptocurrencies is growing day by day. The world's leading companies' interest indicates that the cryptocurrency sector will continue to grow and expand its scope of use. These developments support Monast's claim for digital currency. It is also quite interesting that Serge Monast died mysteriously after his allegations. Monast was arrested for violating national security only 2 years after leaking the Blue Beam Project into public play. Only a day after his arrest, the press announced that he had died of a heart attack. Monast has never had a heart problem in his life. This has led to allegations that he was murdered by a force that sought to silence him. A sentence at the end of Monast's claims adds a different dimension to the subject. No one is safe in a single-centric totalitarian police state to be established. In 1950, at the United Nations Committee on Foreign Relations Congress, James Warburg, a member of the U.S. Senate's Council for External Relations, spoke about the New World Order based on the One World State. If you're the country that manages the organization among states that have entered into a multilateral agreement, and if this organization has its own laws and its own law enforcement forces, then whether these agreements and rules are complied with is no longer a problem for you. Because either you comply with the system, or the law enforcement forces will come and take you from your home. In that case, when we talk about the New World Order, what exactly is meant? The New World Order represents an order in which nationalism and religious belief will be eliminated, and all people will be gathered under the roof of a single world state. Serge Monast also added the following information. The New World Order aims to eradicate today's concept of family and create individuals living alone and serving a single world government. It also envisions the destruction of individuals and ideas that oppose the New World Order. Monast also stressed that, in order to understand the Blue Beam Project correctly, we need to know the details of the New World Order. Monast claims the Blue Beam Project would actually be launched in 1983, but was postponed for some reason. As you can see, Monast's claims are extraordinary in unprecedented proportions. However, the claims are too large, and if they are unproven, they make the claimer a slanderous. Of course, this is a serious crime. As for the claim's realism and the possibility of its realization, I would like to emphasize once again that this is a conspiracy theory. My intention here is simply to research the topic and present it to my audience, as it has become one of the recent prominent conspiracy theories. Before you come to a certain conclusion about any claim, you should definitely investigate the matter thoroughly. You should also keep a close eye on the political and economic developments of the Earth that we live on, and make your own assessment in light of the information you have acquired. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and stay tuned. You can support my channel by liking the content and leaving comments. Until we meet again.